Now I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Microsoft, ew. Especially with the Windows 10 support ending pretty soon. Like, why use Windows 11, you know? Could just use Windows. Well, I actually found that to be one of the strong points against this laptop because me as a person, I actually enjoy Windows way more than I do Mac OS. It's just way more worth it to me to use Windows over Mac OS. Some of the key points about this is the Alcantara. That's one of the things that I can't give up. This feels really nice. I don't know of a way of explaining how um how nice it feels without like butchering it. So I'm just not going to explain. Although I'm gonna say it feels really nice, especially when typing. I think that keyboard is incredibly nice. This keyboard's really nice. I actually prefer this keyboard over the MacBook Pro keyboard that we'll see later on. I really love this keyboard. It's nice and rigid. And another addition to the keyboard that is nice is the Alcantara leather here. It feels really nice. It's a very, very good thing. I prefer this keyboard over the MacBook one. So because of this and because of just the layout of it, I like it better than the macOS, especially because it has Windows keys here, which makes more sense to me because I use more Windows stuff. Now the trackpad's actually really nice as well. The trackpad being it's not glass topped or anything. The trackpad being really nice for it feels smooth. The clicks are really good on it. And that's all I really have to say very much about this. Will say I prefer the MacBook trackpad over this, but this is a very good one too. Now the screen, guys, the screen on here is an amazingly good screen for the price I paid for this. I will get to that later. It is a touch screen, so you'll notice it's a touch screen. It can do touch screen stuff as you would do with the touch screen. And yeah, it's a very very good thing. That's one of the upsides with it. Because it's a touch screen, it works really really well with Mac OS. It works really really well with Windows. Unlike Mac OS, which doesn't, or the MacBook, which doesn't have a touch screen. That's one of a really nice feature, especially with the being Surface branded or Microsoft branded, Windows branded, I guess. Microsoft Windows, you know what I mean. Another thing, here's the I/O. So it's I believe that's a Thunderbolt 2 port with a USB 3.2, I believe, and that's a Thunderbolt jack. That's a Thunderbolt, not the Thunderbolt jack. Sorry, a audio jack there, and it just has on the other side. It just has the charging port with the actual charger with it. I did have to buy the charger offhand. That is something you will have to do if you pick one of these up from eBay and if it doesn't include a charger, of course. Build quality. Okay, so build quality on this laptop is really nice and rigid. Because of how thin this laptop is right here. Oh, I'm way too close to the screen. Sorry guys, I don't really have a recording thing set up. It is incredibly thin device, around the width of my thumb in height, I believe. Yeah, and even when opening up, of course, you're not gonna break it from sitting. I mean, if you're not gonna break it from sitting on it, this screen here is almost as thick as the ending of this here. Of course, that's, whatever. So, of course, that's just, yeah, it's really good screen quality, really, really good keyboard, mouse. Performance. So performance on this thing, it has, I believe, let's open Task Manager up. Believe the performance on this thing has an Intel Iris i5-1035G7 for the CPU with 1.2 gigahertz of 1.2 gigahertz of speed with base, which one thing that is very confusing with this is it says 1.5 here, but it says at 1.2. So I think they're downclocking it to 1.2. Be aware of that if you get this. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM, which I recommend this is a huge, big turn away point for this laptop, but of course, as it has 256 gigabytes of SSD storage, so it has SSD in 238 of that is usable, and it has Intel Iris Plus graphics. Overall, quality of this laptop is amazing. I really do like and enjoy this laptop. I've been using it for a while, probably about a month now. I bought it for around the price was around $150, which I feel like is very comparable to stuff nowadays because of the age of this system being so like new. It's one of the better systems you can get for being so new. And I really like this laptop. It's a very good screen. It's very thin. And overall, I say if you're on a budget, go ahead. Okay, now we're on the MacBook. The MacBook, first thing I'll talk about is the MacBook is a lot more expensive than the Surface Laptop 3, okay? And because of this, I am going to compare the Surface Laptop 3, everything in the Surface Laptop 3 but the specs, and I'm going to compare the specs. I'm going to use the specs from the one that came out the year that this thing came out as well, which I believe is 2023. This came out. Now, this MacBook is the MacBook Pro M2 Pro. I believe that's just what comes with M2 Pro. Anyways, this is the MacBook M2 Pro, or MacBook Pro M2, whatever you want to call it. And first thing I'm going to say is the keyboard on this is spectacular. Absolutely amazing with the keyboard on this. The keyboard on this is amazing, and I think that has to do with well, I don't know what it's doing now. Oh my gosh, okay, we have all that fixed. I think that has to do with the fact of how good the quality of this thing is. The quality of this thing is absolutely spectacular. Build quality is... Now, unlike the Surface Laptop 3, this doesn't have the Alcantara leather here because that's a Microsoft Surface thing, but I will note that it is really nice. This is a really nice place for your palms to rest. It's really nice and smooth. It feels really nice to put your hands on this. And the trackpad is perfect. Like, the trackpad here is a literal perfect laptop trackpad. Has everything you need to be a perfect laptop trackpad. It has, I believe it's glass touched. I believe it's glass top. Has gestures, of course, and then, yeah. Another thing, the screen of this laptop is absolutely amazing. As there's some bits and pieces, like probably like spit on the screen. I know, but that can easily come off. I just haven't. That's probably from me. As you can see, I play Factorio on here. But that's just me. Anyways, I've used this for, I don't know, I would say close to a year at this point. And this was, keep in mind, this was my dad's. So, yes. I/O on this thing is amazing. There's the MagSafe charging port right there, and there's the two USB Type-Cs. There's also the audio jack right there. And then there's, of course, the HDMI and another Lightning, another USB Type-C port, and a USB or a SD card reader slot right there. And I know I briefly mentioned the build quality of this when I was mentioning the keyboard, but it is an amazing build quality level laptop, an amazing level laptop for build quality. I mean, it has the MacBook Pro indented in it right there with the two things right here. Or the four right there, I guess. It's not very repairable, though. That is one thing. That is another thing. I'm not covering repairability in this video as well because neither is the Surface Laptop 3 either. But anyways, and then last thing, the specs. The specs on this laptop, let's go up here to about this Mac, specs on this laptop, or a MacBook Pro 14-inch, and it is it's an M2 Pro. It's an M2 Pro with 16 gigabytes of RAM, right? With 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, I think the reason this definitely outperforms the Surface Laptop 3, but I also think it outperforms the newest, the same generation or the same year Surface that came out this year. I believe it's Surface Laptop 6 that came out the year this thing came out, and this is a lot more expensive. Now, for me, the winner here is going to have to be the MacBook. In terms of performance, the MacBook delivers so much more than the current gen specs, which is, I believe, a 13th, or which I believe a Core i7 Ultra, which it outperforms it, I believe, with the M2 Pro being, just better overall. It also has a better integrated graphics card than the Surface Laptop, the new Surface Laptop that would come out next year, so the Surface Laptop in 2023, which I believe the Surface Laptop 6, because I'm comparing these two, right? Because I'm saying that this is the new one because I don't want to pay an extra, like, $800 for the new one. Anyways, bringing that to point, I would recommend, if you have the money, get this one, get the MacBook, get a MacBook Pro. If you don't have the money and you don't want to spend like $1,500 on a new MacBook Pro, get the Surface Laptop. It doesn't matter what generation. This is the 3. The Surface Laptop is going to be cheaper than this with Windows. And big downturner for me, which almost made me choose the Microsoft Surface Laptop 3, was there's macOS on here, and I don't like macOS. For creativity, this is amazing. For support, this is better, though. This has a lot more support, but it's Microsoft, so Linux, if I did have the choice, I'd put, respectively, Linux on both of these, probably NixOS on both of these, but for this purposes of this video, I wanted to give them what they came with, which was macOS and Windows. Now, this one costed me $150, and this one costed me, I didn't actually pay for this one, but this one costed around $1,500 or $400, I believe. And so my conclusion is, it depends on how much money you have, and it depends on how much money you have, essentially. If you have the money, go this. If you don't, go this. Anyways, if you like this video, Brayden out.